Hey, welcome back to Sweetie.
Welcome back, as Little Man said, to Fam Studios. Today's recipe of the week is a Toffee Studded Snickerdoodle. What do you think of cookies?
Mm-hmm.
You love cookies?
Mm-hmm.
All right, join us on an adventure as we make the Toffee Studded Snickerdoodles from the Hershey's company. All right, guys. So today, for the cookies, first thing you're going to need is 1 stick or half a cup of butter or margarine softened. I'm using unsalted sweet cream butter. We're going to take that into our stand mixer here. We're going to need half a cup of shortening. I'm using vegetable shortening. Going to need 1 cup of white granulated sugar, and then 1/3 of a cup saved for later. So I'm going to set this to the side. We are going to beat this here in a minute, but we are also going to take 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 2 teaspoons of cream of tartar, and add that to 2 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. And I need to grab a spatula here. Got all this in here because it kind of stuck to my dish. And then we are going to whisk this while this is beating. Alright, so at this point, that's been beaten pretty well. We're going to add our eggs to this and incorporate them really thoroughly. At this point, we're also going to scrape down the sides of the bowl to incorporate all that butter, sugar, shortening mixture into the eggs. It's a good time to kind of pop those yolks for the eggs. Get all this down in there. I'm going to get it off my spatula here. And beat those thoroughly in. Alright, so occasionally we will need to take and fold it up and just scrape the bottom and sides down. And we need to blend this until it's fully incorporated and completely smooth before we proceed to the flour mixture getting added. Alright guys, so at this point, this is mixed in. I'm going to pull the paddle off. Scrape this all down. And then we're going to fold in our flour mixture. After we get this all scraped down, get our make sure it's good. Put the paddle back on. We're just going to do about half of it at the first. Alright, let's add the rest of this. Make sure we get all the scrapings from the bowl. get back to mixing. Alright. When you see it starting to clump up on the sides, it's a good time to pull it down. Alright, and there's our dough. So, at this point, we're going to take and add 8 ounces of English toffee bits to it. So that is 8 ounces or 1 1/3 cups. And I'm using the Heath English toffee bits. These are so good. I love English toffee. It's an amazing candy bar. You have bits of toffee and chocolate all throughout it. Yeah, that's pretty thoroughly mixed in there. So, your dough will look a lot like this. All those chocolate toffee bits all throughout it. Let's get this rolled out. Alright, so for mixing this, we're going to take the reserved 1/3 cup of sugar and the cinnamon, and get all this incorporated together. Then what I like to do is I use about a tablespoon. We're just going to take, get a kind of rounded tablespoon, roll this into a ball, into our mixture here. I'm just going to thoroughly coat it with cinnamon sugar. And you can kind of press it into that sugar to get a little bit of the sugar rather than cinnamon. Alright, so I forgot to mention that you have a parchment sheet lined baking pan that you put these on, and a 400-degree oven that is preheating. And I really love this recipe because you get those chocolate toffee bits throughout it, and you get that snickerdoodle taste, which snickerdoodles are one of my favorite cookies. Alright guys, then when you get about 12 of them on a sheet, you gotta make sure you got them spaced accordingly. We're going to bake these between 9 and 11 minutes until they're lightly browned around the edges. Alright, it's been 11 minutes. Here's our first batch of cookies. Alright guys, so it's been a few minutes now. We're just gonna I'm gonna try to hold the parchment. Just move these over to a wire rack. So we can finish cooling. And we can get the next batch going. Alright guys, so for today's shout out, it goes to Chop Shop and Whatnot for making me this awesome cutting board platter. What we're going to do for plating today is we're just going to put 3 or 4 of these cookies on here and a glass of milk. Simple as that. Let's try them. Alright guys, so I'm going to give a cookie to the little man here to try. Bite it. Alright, he gives his stomach seal of approval. I like them with more cinnamon. This is heaven, man. Y'all gotta try this.